I did not pick up the camera yesterday on Monday because I had to go to the city, had to go to my heart doctor, and they did a what is called carotid artery sonogram on both sides of my neck. We're trying to figure out where the dizziness came from, why it happened, and that's just one of the signs of possibly having some blockage in the carotid artery, which I hope is not true. All of my other tests that I've gone through heart-wise this year have been fine. I did get to see my doctor, well, whenever he ordered this. I guess it was last week or week after that. I don't know. Time is going so fast that everything's running together. Anyway, all of my work has come out perfect. He said, your cholesterol is great, you're doing fine, everything is good. The echocardiogram, the stress test, all of it was fine. So I'm going to hope and pray that this is as well. However, my little mother, back in the day, I believe it's when I first got married, she did have to have some clean outs in both sides of her carotid artery. And of course she would have been, let's see, in her 60s at that time. So after that, I mean, she lived to be 90 years old. So, it's just something that if it has to be, it has to be, but we're going to hope and pray that it does not. So on with the day. I did my walk this morning. I've already been for my 2 miles. It was great. The weather is beautiful. We had such bad wind last week for spring break. We didn't get to get out for a couple of days because it blew so badly. And so now it looks as though I'm going to be able to start my morning walks. I'd almost rather do the morning than the evening. I always used to do evening, after 8 o'clock. And I don't know, something last year made me switch to morning. And I just really have enjoyed the morning time. So that's going to be hopefully a daily thing until we have some type of weather, which I hope we do not have any weather except for rain. We'll take some good old rain, but please, let's keep those winds at bay. I am finished with winds. March came in kind of like a lion, and I'm hoping that it will go out like a lamb. But anyway, and we've only got the rest of this week, and it's going to be April. All right, so in the future, what do I have planned? Tomorrow, I am going outside. This will be my first time. I'll have my fan on. It is now that season of year when I bring out my Hawaiian Breeze fan, and I put it on me right here as I get ready, because I just absolutely die in this area when spring and summer. Here's some things out on the bed. I'm getting ready to come in here and go through one more time some of my clothes that I've kind of kept off. I've been through my closet several times. I know like there are some things that I have left that I keep thinking are going to be just fine, and they're really not. In fact, I wore a sweater yesterday that just was not, it wasn't good. But I gave it one last wear, and so that was probably good. So what am I wearing today for staying at home? I have on the I believe it's Noani. I got this at a craft show, and it's I'll show you in just a minute. It's very, very wide and very full and a little bit warm. So I probably need to wear it before it gets like into the 90s. And I also have on my Riley Girls cropped so comfortable. They're just to go to all the time. So comfortable. Anyway, this is a wide, as you can see, shirt. It has little cats. Since I'm into Oreo, I have little cats here on a desk. It's kind of silly, kind of goofy, but it's extremely comfortable and has kangaroo pocket in the front. Just something to wear around the house. I mean, you could wear it great on a trip. It would be fantastic on a trip, but it might help if I have a little light on. I don't know that helped. It's kind of dark in this area because this is the side that gets the evening sun going down, so we don't get a whole lot of light. And it's almost noon, so it's still kind of dark in my bedroom area. But anyway, this is what I'm wearing today. It has a little shawl type collar that folds down and just is so comfortable. My water real quick, and I'll go in here and show you what I'm getting ready to do. Like I said, tomorrow we'll be going outside. The first trip outside is always probably the worst because it's just major cleanup, and because we had so much wind, it's going to take me a while to clean up the tumbleweeds and the broken branches and all that before I can even begin what I normally do outside anyway. You know, we don't have a gardener. My husband mows. I do the trimming and the gardening and the weeding and all that kind of stuff because it takes him about 3 to 4 hours to mow the yard. We have a lot and a half, which is good sometimes and not so good other times. The lot and a half kind of gives you that extra distance between your home and your neighbor's home, which is really nice. Gives them privacy and gives us privacy, but it also expands your yard and makes it really, really big. Plus, it increases the water bill when you have to water, which is not good. So anyway, yeah, it takes him such a long time that there's no reason for him to do all of the yard. So I have been doing that. You know, I told you that I had to give up my little housekeeper because she was having health problems. I miss her terribly. I miss that, you know, I was giving myself a little gift from teaching for as long as I did. And, you know, I don't really want to train anybody else or look for anybody else. So I've just been cleaning my own house. I can do it. I don't love it, but well, there's one thing I can do. Of all the things in life, I am a cleaner. I can clean very well, and I'm going to brag on myself. I'm just going to do it because I know how to clean. I clean very well. I learned that from my mom. So I don't really mind it. It just takes a lot of time, where I would rather be, you know, doing my artwork, making my jewelry, painting, working on things on my laptop, you know, doing programs and things like that. But it's got to be done. So instead of cleaning house all on one day, which used to just make me a crab apple, I now spread it out. I do a little bit each day, and then finally during 1 week the whole house is completely cleaned and I don't worry about it for a little while. But anyway, that's coming up as well. But tomorrow is a big day. I have got to go out and get the yard going because it looks horrendous. Everybody's yard looks bad because of everything that blew in from the wind. So I'm doing some laundry this morning, and then I'll show you what else I'm getting ready to do on Poshmark. And so my little niece, who lives in Dallas, their school was having some sort of function where she had to bid on an auction. So she did some bidding on this group that came in one whole container. And it has the little Cabbage Patch doll astronaut, and this one happens to be the one with red hair. And he did come with his little birth, or she, excuse me, it's a girl, came with its birth certificate. Anastasia Sybil is her name, and she's got on her little astronaut outfit, and of course the part that goes with it in the back. It's really, really cute. So I have looked up the Cabbage Patch dolls, and I've noticed that most of them go anywhere from $90 to $150. And she would like for me to sell it because, you know, they really didn't want it. Her girls are now teenagers, and they weren't collecting Cabbage Patch dolls. So she wants me to put them on Poshmark and eBay and see if she can get her money, a little bit of her money back that she did on the auction. So that's what I'm going to be doing in just a minute, is doing my photographing and getting that done. Also, what came in her little auction purchase is the Cabbage Patch Kids complete baby care set. And all of the pieces are there. It's like they were never used. The package is in pretty good shape. It's a little worn for wear, but nobody, I guess, ever used it. And I looked it up, and it goes for around $30. And so what I'm thinking is maybe 28. And then on the little Cabbage Patch, since it doesn't have a box, I don't feel like I can charge the $150, but I was thinking maybe 79, 89. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some more research before I come up with a true price, but that's what I'm going to be up to today, is putting these on. So if you know somebody, or if you yourself collect Cabbage Patch Kids, we also will negotiate. It's not a set price. We can talk about it. All right, the other things that came in her little auction kit were, and these are things from the 80s. It was called a 80s package. So here's a Star Wars pillow. It has the tag, but yet it doesn't have the tag. The price has been pulled off. So I mean, I don't even know what you do with this. What would you do with this? It's just a little pillow. I guess a kid would sleep on it or something. I don't know. And then there was an E.T. Pez, and the Pez candies are still in there. And so if you're a collector of Pez and you loved E.T., there's that. And I have no idea what to ask for that. I'm gonna have to do some research on it. And then there was this little thing, and Suzanne looked it up for me, and we found out what it was called. Tamagotchi or something like that. And Suzanne said it has to do with it's like a pet or something. I don't know. Anyway, that was in it. And then there were 2 pair of earrings, Pac-Man earrings, and cassette plate or cassette tape earrings. So I'm just going to leave those in there. And then My Little Pony was in there. And this Blockbuster party game, it's even still in the package. It's not even been used. And you would have to have a VHS, I guess, to do this. Or do you? I don't know. I don't even know. Yeah, it's a VHS thing. So it'd be more of a collectible thing, I guess. I don't know. And then there were some movie poster coasters. Karate Kid, Gremlins, Back to the Future, Top Gun. So those are coasters. Then there were 2 Masters of the Universe books. I guess they're not comic books, but they're like regular books. Time Trouble and Mask of Evil. Not my thing at all. And then there was this 10 poster of David Bowie. So if you're a collector of that, I don't know why it would be on 10, and I don't know what you would do with it, you know. But anyway, it was in there. And then a Wuzzles Moozles special gift book, a Cabbage Patch Kids book, and then this was her auction poster. So anyway, what I'm going to do is just put all of these in a container and say this group of 80s memorabilia goes for, and I'm just thinking maybe $25. I don't know if that's a fair price or not. I don't even know if people sell things in that way, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. That's what's going to be my job this afternoon, and get that all figured out and done and up on Poshmark hopefully later this afternoon. So that is what I'm up to today. So I've got working in the closet, putting these pictures on, and I'm going to be doing a casserole for my husband and I so that when we come in tomorrow after slaving in the yard, we could go get something to eat, but I don't really even want to leave the house after I've been outside all day long. I just want to come in, take a shower, wash my hair, and get comfortable. And usually the first time I go out, it takes me about 6 to 8 hours. And I know that sounds horrible, but I go slower than I used to. So yes, it will take me about that much time. So I'm going to do a casserole today that I found on Facebook, and this is something that you could just look up online. It's called a King Ranch casserole. It's out on the counter, ready to go. You can use tortillas, but I'm just going to use chips and kind of make it like a Doritos casserole. So it requires cream of mushroom, cream of chicken soup, a bell pepper, any color, and I just chose red because that's what she used, an onion, a can of Rotel tomatoes, some cilantro. I'm going to add some hot sauce that I need to use up that we got this weekend. I'm going to saute the vegetables in olive oil. I have my chicken thawing lightly over here in the sink. And I'm kind of running out of chicken broth, so I'm going to use beef broth to get it going. And my pan is out ready to go, and my casserole dish is out ready to go. So it's kind of out and on the counter and ready. I come more likely to enjoy cooking rather than starting and coming in and looking at a recipe and just starting in. I don't know, it sounds kind of crazy, but I got all this out this morning so that when I do get ready to put it together, then I won't be searching for things. It's all just right there on the counter. I'm kind of surprised they didn't add any other seasonings. So I might season it a little bit more because we kind of like, I don't like really drab, dull, bland food. I like it seasoned a little bit, so I might add some extra spices in there. And then I have some leftovers to eat today. My husband does not. He never does have leftovers to eat. So I need to eat my leftovers. He can eat the new King Ranch, and then we'll have leftovers of it tomorrow after we come in. So let me go. Well, another thing that I'm going to try to do today before my husband gets home and before I work on my casserole, it is spring cleaning time. And so all of my lights that are around my house collect, I guess, not only lint and dirt, but a few insects that have died. And so I'm going to go around to each light and see if I can take them down. As you can see, yeah, that one's got some too. So wherever I have lights, thank goodness there's not one in Suzanne's room. Her little chandelier wouldn't have anything collected. And this one's pretty easy to take care of. I just dust it with a Swiffer, so that one's not bad. Let's go in here in my room, see if it's got some. This is just part of my spring cleaning duties. Yeah, I see a little bit up there in those. And then in the bathroom, the only thing that collects is over the shower area. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I can see that one. You probably can't see very good, but it does have some. So yeah, I think that's going to be my job for right now. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. I think the kitchen ones also usually have a collection. These 2 lamps here on top. Ooh, my chicken smells so good. Yeah, that's got a collection there, and that one's not quite as bad, but I will probably still take it down and clean it. And then there's one in here in the utility room. And yeah, it's got a few in it. Probably a good thing to do and take care of. That'll kind of give me a start on some of my spring cleaning duties. Another thing that I need to do eventually is go in here and move my washer and dryer right there, right there. I pull those out and I clean underneath the washer and dryer and get the lint out. It's not really that bad. It's not awful. There's one thing I've never moved, and I'm probably not going to do it until it dies. And I've talked to you before about my Amana refrigerator. I have never pulled that out and cleaned behind it. Does anybody do that? Do you clean behind your refrigerators during your spring cleaning? First of all, it's too heavy. Second of all, it's going to mark up the floor, and I don't know. I'm just not going to worry about it until we have to have a new one, which I hope will be a long time. I really don't want to have a new one. I don't want to have to worry about think about having to have a new one. So yeah. All right. So spring cleaning. Let's do that, and then I will come in and we'll get started on my King Ranch chicken casserole. So much better, and it just kind of helps to wash the globe and just get all that out so much better. All right, about 3 more to go. That is a literal balancing act. And a little bit scary. All right, they are all done. I can't believe it. So that's good. Whew. All right, check, one off the list. Now let's see if we can put our chicken casserole together. I don't think I'm going to do the one over my sink because it's going to be a little bit harder to get to. And y'all probably are thinking, why didn't you just wait and do this clean on when you needed to change a bulb? Well, the bulbs don't all go out at the same time, so I don't know. It's just one thing I thought I needed to do. Anyway, it made the kitchen ones look so much clearer and brighter. I'll show you what they look crystal clear, so pretty. And there's two in the kitchen, and they are really good light. So the one I'm talking about is right here over my sink, and I can see a little bit of stuff down in the bottom of it. But like I said, this one is really hard to get to because, as you can see, my sink area juts out, and then I have to move the floor mat, and I have to try to get over the sink because it's kind of positioned between the box window and the sink, so it's kind of hard to get to. So I think we're going to wait on that one. All right, let's get going on this King Ranch chicken. So my chicken is cooked, and I'm going to bring it off of the stove. And for just a minute, I'm going to put it in a bowl. And yes, it is nice and tender, which is exactly the way I like it before I put it into a casserole. I do not like my chicken undercooked. None of my family does. So, yeah, this is going to be good. So the next thing I'm going to do, of course, I'll break up my chicken after I have gotten it out of the bowl. So I'm going to clean out this pot, and when we're going to saute our onion and our pepper and olive oil. Shredded up. It's just great. So what I did is I boiled it this morning with a can of beef broth. You're really supposed to use chicken broth, but I didn't have enough chicken broth, so we did beef broth and a can of water, and I got all that done. So I'm going to season this up when I get it into the pot. So right now we are sauteing the peppers and the onions, and then I'm going to turn on my oven to 375. And it will be ready to go. I'm mixing in the can of Rotel, and I'm going to add this extra hot sauce that I had left over, this fresh hot sauce that I had from the restaurants that we ate at. I just, I could eat them with tortilla chips, but I think I just want to use them. And you can only keep them for, like a week, so this will be perfect to put those in there. There's not much left in them anyway, but it'll kind of give them a little added extra flavor. So we'll get this stirred up, and then we'll add the cream of mushroom soup, the cream of chicken soup, and then I added a tablespoon of cilantro. So I'm going to mix that together. It's a wonderful sauce for the King Ranch chicken. And the recipe that I'm using that came from Facebook is Valerie Bertinelli's. I've seen lots of different versions of the King Ranch chicken, so we're going to try her version. It's suggested using corn tortillas and I just decided to use my chips that I have on hand. These are Julio's. They're kind of a seasoned chip, and I kind of crunched them up a little bit. I did put olive oil in the bottom of my pan and spread it around. You could do butter, you could do a spray, but this time, because I had olive oil in the peppers and onions, I thought it's out, I'm just going to use it. So those are all crunched up, ready to go. So I'm going to transfer half of the mixture to the top of the chips and chicken, and here goes the cheese. And what I'm using today, she suggested Monterey Jack and Colby, so I'm going to use the Mexican style shredded blend and then sharp cheddar on top. I just like those two flavors together. There's the cheese, and that is the first layer. Now we're going to do this layer all over again. Chips, chicken, cheese, and it's going to be ready to go into the oven. Second layer of chips. Sorry, I didn't show that part. Here's the second layer of the chicken mixture, and we're going to add the sharp cheddar cheeses on, and it is ready to pop into the oven. Y'all, this is such an easy recipe. It goes together pretty fast. I mean, getting the chicken done is the hardest part, but it doesn't take all that long. And this is it. Like I said, 375 uncovered for 30 minutes. It's just so savory, the crunch of the chips, the savory part of the chicken, and the cheesiness. My family loves cheese, so this is a really good hearty meal for when you are super hungry. Quick cleanup. I don't have that much to clean up, and then I'm going to go sit in the living room and work on my Poshmark stuff that I was talking about. For my husband to come home so we can have a really nice meal. Okay, I'm going to come out for a few minutes. I wasn't going to show this, but you know, on every part of Lora Loves Life, I show the good, the bad, and sometimes the ugly. Well, Saturday when we went to the Snow White movie and we ate at the Big Texan, when we came out and I was getting ready to back out, there was this sudden thud. And a lady was pulling into the parking place beside us, and I don't know what she was doing, but she did not pull in correctly. So here's what happened to our little lovely Highlander. Yeah. And my husband handles things so well. He was so patient and kind. Didn't get upset. I just had to get in the car because I was getting upset because, you know, I mean, there was plenty of room. She just didn't pull in correctly. Maybe the sun was in her eyes. I don't know. But anyway, so now we are dealing with having to get our car fixed. Insurance called today from her insurance, and they're going to get the ball rolling. They're going to have some pictures, of course, and various other things. The police were not called. We called both of our insurance companies, and they said because this was not, you know, it's a minor accident and happened in a parking lot, don't call the police. So we don't have a police record, which I don't know how smart that is, but anyway, yeah. So I'm just sick. You know, I can't stand imperfection, and yet isn't our whole life imperfection? And I felt sorry for her in a way, but in another way, she really wasn't all that rattled. They were from out of state, and of course eating at the popular restaurant. She had her two older boys with her. They were college aged or older, I don't know. But anyway, I was trying to figure out how she did this, because, you know, we all pull into parking places every day of our lives. And there was plenty of room. I don't know. I don't know if she just misjudged or what. But anyway, so this is what we're going to have to deal with. And it'll get fixed, as my husband says. It's going to get fixed. Don't worry about it. And at least it wasn't me. A few years ago, I ran into a pole. I backed up into a pole, which did some damage to the back. It wasn't horrible, but that was out of our pocket. And that was my fault. And it was my first accident ever, except with my parents when I was 16 years old. We had been on a trip, and I was driving. Yeah, at 16 I was driving, because my parents had me driving when I was 12, which was good. So I was driving, and we were in a lineup that was slowly moving. There had been some sort of traffic incident. So we were slowly moving, and this is where I learned this. So there was a camper behind us, and he, I guess, instead of putting on the brake, he put on the accelerator and ran into the back of us, which pushed me into the front, or into the back of the car in front of us. So it wasn't my fault. We were just sitting, you know, moving slowly, and thank goodness it wasn't on a highway, and we were going at a super speed. You know, God protects us in many ways, and we need to be thankful about that. But I felt bad because I was under the wheel. But like I said, it wasn't my fault. They pulled into us, made me push into them. So now no matter where I go, I leave a car's length. I don't care if people get mad at me or not. I leave a car's length between me and the next car in front of me, because you never know when somebody's going to bash you in the back, and that keeps you from hitting the person in front of you. So, you know, driving is a thing. It's a skill. It's something that you practice. It's something you have to be really aware of. And I try to be when I'm driving, and I pray every time I get in the car. But I hate that this happened. It happened. It's going to get fixed. But nonetheless, you know, I'm really particular about my car. I always try to keep it nice and clean. It's a 2016 Highlander, and we've tried so hard to keep it together and keep it nice. But, you know, it's just sickening, and I hate it for her, but I hate it for us because we only have one car. But it has been sitting since 2016, because when we bought this car, in order to help pay it off, he stopped driving his red pickup, and he dropped the insurance on it and everything, and it already had some issues that it needed to have done. He lost the passenger side rearview mirror. We had a hailstorm, and it broke the glass on his pickup, and some kids at school marked all over it one time, so he was buffed it out. The tires are flat. You know, it's got a lot of things going on. But anyway, that's what's happening these days. What I was saying, nonetheless, he doesn't drive it. And it needs major work, and it's been sitting, like I said, since 2016. I have wanted him to get rid of it. He won't do it. I've wanted him to fix it. He won't do it. So we just have one vehicle. So when the car does get fixed, we're gonna have a rent car, and, you know, all of that, because there are places I have to go and things I have to do. And I don't know how long it will take. I think last time when my incident happened, it took 2 or 3 days, I don't know. And we did have to have a car for that as well. So, the good, the bad, and the ugly. What do you do? This is what the King Ranch casserole looks like, fresh out of the oven. It's nice and bubbly and cheesy. And then I told you I was gonna have leftovers. I'm gonna have fish and chicken and some onion rings and hush puppies. So I will get this eaten up, and then tomorrow I will get to enjoy this after working in the yard. So my husband and I are going to go watch a few things and enjoy our supper.